So I'm sitting here with Gary Hines from PRCI. We're sitting at the Pipeline Technology Forum. And so Gary, what have you learned today?
You know, one of the things that I would say, Russell, related to these events, a couple of things actually. Pandemic was too long. It's a reality in our lives, but the pandemic was too long. It's great to see this activity and the organic development of ideas, which leads to the second thing that I'm reminded about during these sessions today, and that is that collaboration is key. That you've got ideas, I've got ideas, but whenever we put those together, it's an even better idea. And so whenever we collaborate together, like is happening today, will happen tomorrow, happens at other events as well, that's important. That's why it's part of our mission as well as the collaboration.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've had some great conversations. I've learned a lot, seen some cool tech. And it's interesting to find other people that are like-minded and are working on the same problem and bringing a different perspective, right?
Yep. Yeah, they're again, the diversity of thought I think is really important. And what I appreciate about this event today is diversity of content. You know, there's integrity management. I attended a session earlier on just AI and machine learning and advancing, you know, how we think about things and letting data help us. That's important as well. But the diversity of content today has been helpful in just understanding that, you know, this industry is pretty broad in what you could, I say focus on, but what you could have an interest in. And it'll take you a long way. And if you don't like that, you transition to something else. So the diversity here has been great today, too.
Yeah, I would concur that some of the conversations I've had, that there's a lot of us are working on the same problem, like data management is kind of a theme of the conversation today. But they're all working on it from a little bit different perspective. One person's talking about, well, how do I take all the construction records and get them organized? Another person is talking about, well, how do I take all my IM and my tool runs and do that? I'm talking about compliance records, but we're all talking about the same thing from a different perspective.
We are, and that's because of experience. You have different experience than I do. I mean, my experience, certainly I've got some operator experience, and now trade association experience. But the diversity of experience helps us understand from a perspective maybe where we come from, because we come with our own perspective. But then we get other ideas for how others might do that. And as long as we're open and ask questions from what I call the curiosity perspective, of
right.
Being curious about something, not questioning to battle somebody, but questioning for curiosity to learn, then there's a whole lot that can come from that.
Yeah, seeking to understand. Right. Why are you saying what you're saying? How is that, and asking the question, how is that different than what I think I know?
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't add anything to that. That's spot on right there.
So the other question I wanted to ask you is, how do you feel about being back out with people again?
I will say that, so I'm a civil engineer by degree, and I guess I like to proudly state that because I feel like I'm an introvert, but I'll tell you that this has taught me for myself specifically, I'm more of an extrovert than I gave myself credit for. This is really fulfilling. There's therapy in the room right now, and I don't mean that from a perspective of pull up a couch, but this goes so far from a virtual screen, but to see people standing next to one another, and you know, some have different perspective of how close that needs to be, but Russell, there's a whole lot of energy in this room right now related to people just hungering that organic conversation and seeing you start one place, but the organic conversation leads from one place to another, and who knows where you end up from a connection, meeting new people. I've met some great people here myself, but just the realization that this has been missing. This really has been missing.
I couldn't agree with you more. I really miss getting out and seeing all these people. You can see we have our,
that's right.
It's the happy hour. We're drinking our beers at the end of the first day of this conference. So anyways, look, great. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. And wasn't that hard to be on TV or whatever we call this streaming thing anyways, was it?
Nope, not absolutely. So just invite anybody that wants to talk with somebody and what I would call have a conversation. Check out the podcast, and I think you'll learn something from that too. So thanks for what you do there.
Great. Thanks for the plug. Thank you.